Hello everyone. So today we're going to be teaching the universal curette. You have two of them in your cassette. You have the Columbia 1314 and the Barnhart 56. And the way you can tell the difference between them is the working end on the Barnhart is slightly larger and longer. Things to remember about this instrument is the face of the blade is 90 degrees to the terminal shank. So this is the face of the blade. This is 90 degrees to the terminal shank. And this instrument is universal due to the fact that it has two cutting edges. And when you're instrumenting and using it on the teeth, only the toe third of the cutting edge is against the tooth. What we will also be talking about is the angulation of this instrument and how you have a process of closing, inserting, opening, and activating when using it. So when you close this instrument on the tooth, first you have to check your working end and make sure it's 90 degrees. You will close at a 0 to 40 degree angle. And then when you insert it into the tooth, usually on a live patient, you will see blanching of the gingiva when you insert, and then you will open and then activate. So that's how you would use it. In terms of indications, this is indicated for small to moderate amounts of calculus, and the contraindications are you should not use it on green calculus because of the underlying demineralized enamel. Always remember your modified pen grasp. That's how you should be holding the instrument. Your finger should be rested in a soft C. Your middle finger should rest on the working end. And then this is your fulcrum, your ring finger. Always be sure to tuck your pinky in because you do not want it out. And your fulcrum will be 2 to 3 teeth away from the surface you're working on. All right, so before we instrument on the actual Typodont, some things you need to know about this instrument is its properties and what you would label the handle, the shank, and the working end. So from here to here is your handle. That's what you usually use to hold the instrument. This is the shank, and this is the working end, right where the blade is. And only the toe third of the cutting edge is against the tooth when instrumenting with the Columbia 1314 or the Barnhart 56. So we will be working on every quadrant of this Typodont, and we're starting off with the mandibular, right, on teeth numbers 29 and 30. And one way to check your working end and to see if it's correct is by placing the instrument interproximally and seeing that the shank is 90 degrees to the face of the tooth. You can also check the V to the D because on the wrong working end, when you insert the instrument, it is hugging the tooth, which is incorrect. So when we insert, we're going to be closed at the distal line angle. We're going to insert, open, and then we're going to activate. And be sure you're rocking and rolling as you're using this instrument. And now the instrument is parallel to the interproximal space of the tooth. When working mesially, you start at the distal line angle, you close, insert, open, and you end up interproximally. And this is how we will be instrumenting on tooth number 29. You fulcrum, close, insert, open, parallel, now moving mesially, close, open, insert, all right. So from when you move from the buccal side to the lingual side of the same tooth, what you want to do is you'll flip your instrument because it'll be the wrong working end. It'll hug the tooth on this side. So always be sure to check your working end before instrumenting because it's a critical error. So this is the right working end, and we will be working distally. So you insert, open, and approximately. And then we will be moving measly, and approximately. Same thing for tooth number 29. Close, open, insert, and approximately. And then you're gonna move it measly all the way to the interproximal space. And that is the mandibular right tooth section. So now we will be working on the mandibular left. This is tooth number 19, but it's missing. Usually we would be doing 19 and 20, but we'll just do 18 and 20 for the moment because this one's missing. Always check your working end for the buccal surface, and then we will be close, insert, open, and always be sure to rotate. Now moving measly, close, open, insert, and approximately. And now we'll be working on number 20, going distally, distal line angle, close, open, insert, and then going measly, all the way, and approximately. Now going to the lingual surface, you will flip your instrument in order to have the correct working end. Same thing, you'll be going distally, and then we'll be working measly. Same thing with number 20. Close, insert, open. And rocking measly. Okay, on teeth numbers 3 and 4 for the maxillary right. And this is one of the harder sections to fulcrum on, because usually you're fulcruming either the tooth in front or on the same tooth on the opposite side. So you insert, open, get it into proximally. Then we're gonna work mesially until we're completed. Same thing for the premolar. Now we'll be working on the maxillary premolar. You insert, open. Until we're in approximately. Now we'll be going mesially. Until third. Until we're completed. And that's the buccal surface. Now we're going to be doing the lingual surface. Now for video purposes, we'll be having we'll be working on the maxillary palatal surface on both 3 and 4. Always check your working end. This is correct working end. You're gonna close, open, insert, and work in approximately. Same thing mesially. And then go distally. And then mesially. Now we'll be working on the palatal surface of the maxillary posterior teeth on 13 and 14. Same thing. You close, open, insert, activate. Until we're interproximal. Go to the distal line angle when you're working mesially. And work to the interproximal again. Now for the premolar, and insert until we're interproximal. And then mesially until we're interproximal. So these are for the waist surfaces on the anterior teeth on the maxillary. So we can work on teeth 7 and 8. And the way you can check the working end is the Pac-Man or the bump to the tooth. Now you would insert and activate. And always be sure to roll until you have that tooth at the interproximal. Same thing with this one. Open, insert. Until it's interproximal. The waist surfaces on the anterior, and same thing. This might be a little hard to show on camera. You open, insert until you're at the interproximal. Same thing, close, open. Until you're interproximal. Okay, now we're at 8 o'clock and we'll be working on our toward surfaces. The way you can check that is the Pac-Man or the bump to the tooth. And we go from canine to canine, but we'll be working on 8 and 7 right now. Open, insert. Until we're interproximal. Same thing for 7, and insert. Till we're interproximal. Toward surfaces on the palatal surface of the maxillary. Insert, open. Proximal. Open, insert. So you're interproximal. Now we'll be working on mandibular toward surfaces at 8 o'clock on 25 and 26. So same thing applies. Pac-Man, bump to the tooth. You close, open. Start. And then this one has a deep gingival pocket. All the way to the interproximal. Be working on mandibular toward surfaces on the mandible. Forgive me for this angulation because this jaw is not stabilized. And then open, insert. Working on mandibular waist surfaces at 12. This one has a deep gingival pocket. All the way to the interproximal space.